Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one. That was a good win. Broadcasting to you live from the Orion Spiral Arm of the Milky Way Galaxy, the solar system planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, no longer California, Los Angeles to be pseudo-specific. My name is BrianEngelman. Today is Monday, September 22nd, 2025, and this right here is going to be Strictly Browns. Strictly Browns here on the New American Media Network. Let's go ahead and pull up the logo right there. Strictly Browns is a division of the Unhappy Hour Sports Show. Did you know that? Did you know? Well, if you don't know, now you know. You know, I've been doing shows for 14 years. 14 years of this stuff, and I can't tell you how many times I have put the headline, the tagline, the phrase on this program saying, Browns snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Because usually what you hear is, so-and-so snatches victory from the jaws of defeat. You were almost out, but then you got it last second. And the Cleveland Browns have suffered a tremendously horrible fate on far too many occasions. Our fan base is too good of a group of people to deserve what we've had to subject ourselves to. What we've been subjected to has been atrocious. You know, there's moments in our lives where we might question the existence of a God, a supreme being, a architect of the universe, a force that rights wrongs, something omnipresent, something that cares about us. You know, whether that's pie in the sky or wishful thinking, that's fine. I totally understand your perspective on that. But we have, as a Browns, by the way, check out this shirt. How cool is this? It's the elf. It's the Cavalier sword. It's the Indian's feather. And it's the brownie elf. It's one of my favorite shirts. Wearing it in appreciation. Worn during the live stream yesterday, put back on again for this. Because it's lucky. And the Browns got lucky. No, they didn't. The Browns freaking earned it. Let's talk about it. The Cleveland Browns defense was out of its mind talented. They have been all season, and they are now. We are you can pull up all the statistics that you want. What do we hold Derrick Henry to? What do we hold Cincinnati rushing to? They had like one first drive where they rushed out. They had several nice running plays and scored on that first drive. Not much else. And yeah, the Browns defense did give up 41 points to the Ravens. By the way, Ravens are a legit Super Bowl contender. That program has been 30 years since they stole our franchise. 30 years since they stole our team and took it to Baltimore. And they've been pretty much right at the top. Haven't they won twice? Or have they only won one Super Bowl? Only one with Flacco, right? They've been one of the top 5, top 10 teams in the NFL consistently since they arrived. The Browns defense played tough for that whole first half, and they got worn out. They were on the field the whole game. And unfortunately, you're seeing a lot of the same character traits, same characteristics of this team with our offense. Kind of anemic. Joe Flacco doesn't look very mobile at all. It's sort of eliminated the whole fake handoff bootleg thing that Baker Mayfield damn near perfected. Go back and look at Baker haters, please. It's okay to be wrong. I was not wrong about Baker Mayfield. You threw in the towel. He played video games. He stayed up too late at night. He threw 3-4 interceptions against the Packers all those years ago. He deserves to go. He's trash. No, we shouldn't waste our money and sign him. No, we should get Deshaun Watson. He's a top 3 quarterback. Just please. Oh, Baker would have never been good in Cleveland. He was good in Cleveland, okay? Don't do that. But that is the type of play Kevin Stefanski likes to run. He likes to do the handoff and then the fake handoff bootleg. And Baker Mayfield, go back and look at the statistics. He was playing out of his mind on those bootlegs where he could get a little bit of space from that line and he could use some athleticism to make some plays on the run, maybe take off and use his feet. You've seen Baker do this 3 straight come from behind victories for the 3-0 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, by the way. First time any quarterback has ever done that in game 1, game 2, game 3 of the season in NFL history. So Baker's still doing things that nobody's ever done. Yes, he can win the big games, etc. But Joe Flacco, the type of quarterback that he is, yes, he's got a nice arm, but he missed several nice reads yesterday. What was it, the flea flicker? Where the guy was, Isaiah Bond was open. They shoulda, coulda, woulda, but they didn't. By the way, anybody who's watching, please hit like, please hit subscribe, and type your comments in the comments section so we could I'll take any of your questions, any of your comments, and I'll try to incorporate it into the show. Lynette, if you're watching, please feel free to make a Browns pun. Lynette and I and Carl and several others are in some of the TNAM groups. I haven't seen you as much lately. I miss your puns, your jokes. But the Browns offense has been struggling. Now, we've been outgaining our opponents. That Cincinnati game is a game that we should have won if it weren't for our kicker, for our special teams. What was it, a missed extra point and then a missed field goal? We had that game won. We lost it. But guess what? We had this game lost, and we won it. We won it by blocking the field goal that the Packers were trying to make to essentially ice the game, or at least get close to it. We blocked that. Kudos to the special teams unit. We're celebrating today. All right. We're celebrating today. Yes, Joe Flacco, as it stands, he's missing some wide open receivers. But we're also playing without some tackles. We don't have Jack Conklin. We don't have DeJuan Jones. By the way, NFL, it's time to start protecting the knees of Cleveland players. For the love of God, you have got to start suspending people. Make them lose their game check. Okay, let's see if Jeremy wants to jump into the show. Make them lose their game check if they're going to dive at players' knees. They injured DeJuan Jones. Micah Parsons injured Nick Chubb a couple of years ago. Just blew his knee out. The NFL has got to do a better job stopping that. There's nothing more chicken shit than diving at a man's kneecaps. Oh, well, it's just, it works. It's something that we do to, okay, it's something that we do. That's neat. No, NFLPA's got to defend our players, but Joe Flacco's missing both tackles up against Micah Parsons in a really tough Green Bay defense. So, I mean, we were outpacing the Ravens in total yards. We were outpacing the Bengals in total yards. And we held Jamar Chase to next to nothing with a healthy Joe Burrow, by the way. The defense has been stellar this season. But let's face it, Joe Flacco, the mobility is not there. However, let's give Joe Flacco his roses. We can't just start screaming for Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders. I know during the game of the live feed, by the way, I've been doing live feeds, live streams of the Browns games. We're watching the game together, hanging out in our digital living room. Special thanks to William Marar being there yesterday, watching the game with us and running down the scores and the fantasy football implications, and Sal for jumping in. Quick programming note, please make sure you check out our program tomorrow. It will be at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Strictly Football with Mike Barra. You might have seen him on Ancient Aliens, and Jim Mitchell giving us some betting trends, and Ezrael Robinson, Cowboys fan. Those two are Seahawks fans, and we do Strictly Football. I think we're back to our regularly scheduled time next week, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. But we're going to cover the whole league tomorrow. I just want to talk about the Browns today. But yeah, during the game, I was calling for Dylan Gabriel because nothing was working. We scored all 13 of our points in the last 3-4 minutes of the game. That's not good. And yeah, Dylan Gabriel's short. Okay. But can he move around in the pocket? Can he do those. How much more effective will those play actions be and the play action bootlegs be if you had a mobile quarterback like Dillon or even Sanders? Sanders might have a little bit more to go, I guess, just the way that he played in college and his tendency to break clean pockets. And there's coaching, there's stuff that you need to get reps and you need to kind of get used to things. I have no problem redshirting Shadur Sanders. He showed a lot of promise in that Carolina preseason, but he's not ready. Dillon Gabriel played 5 years in college football. He's more ready. And by the way, that's not to say that something couldn't happen where you might need someone to fill in for Flacco or fill in for both Flacco and Shadur. You never know. The last time we made the playoffs a couple years ago, we used 5 different quarterbacks. So we need to have a roster of people ready to go. Bailey Zappi, I think, is still on the practice squad or something. But when it counted, let's give Joe Flacco a little bit of credit. Let's focus on that last drive. We needed that final pass, that final catch to David Njoku. Zipped it by Flacco right over the middle. Njoku bowled forward, got those couple extra yards. And I'll tell you what, the leadership of Flacco and the fact that Kevin Stefanski had us coached up well enough to take on that situation. Was it 12 seconds left? I'm trying to remember how many seconds were on the clock. It was roughly 10 seconds, 12 seconds. They caught the ball. Njoku caught it, got down. The whole team got exactly where they needed, got in position, stone. No movements, no stuttering, just ready to go. Grabbed it, clocked it with enough time for Andre. We call him Schmidt, but S-Z-M-Y-T. Is that really S-C-H-M-I-D-T? Like, that's how we're going to pronounce it? Not Smith. Smith. It's Schmidt. I'm not understanding this. The vernacular of it all doesn't really add up for me. I'm still trying to learn. I'm still trying to understand the name Quinshawn. I've lived many years and I've never encountered a name of Quinshawn. So please, why are we doing Schmidt spelled completely differently? Anyway, the Browns gave him time to redeem himself. And you know what? Judge not lest ye be judged. He who is without sin cast the first stone. Go ahead. Have at it. Hello, Trash Panda, by the way, checking in from Texas. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Your teams are struggling right now. Texans are 0-3. Isn't Dallas 0-3? But kudos to all sorts of. By the way, okay, so I love the redemption arc of Andre. I'll call him Schmidt, I guess. I'll change it again. I'm like Smith. I don't know. Maybe that was an Ellis Island thing. You came over and like, what's your name? I'm going to spell it like this. I don't know why it's pronounced Schmidt, though. But look, the redemption arc. Nobody's perfect. Was I calling to cut the kicker after the game one, a winnable game? The Browns could be 2-1. So we snatched defeat from the jaws of victory against the Bengals and gave us week 1 loss. We snatched a victory from the jaws of defeat against the Packers, which gave us a week 3 win. So maybe they wash out. We legitimately got beat by the Ravens, who were a better team that day. We could be 2-1. I want to think that way because I don't go into this thinking, oh, we're going to have a terrible season. See if Tony wants to come in and add a thought or a comment or question. Yeah, if anybody, I'm streaming on this because when I stream through Facebook, sometimes people don't see it. I don't get it. I'm streaming to 9 different channels right now. But Facebook doesn't often show when we're broadcasting. Yeah, if anybody wants to jump in, just let me know. I'm checking the screen here to see if I can invite people. You're all more than welcome to join, by the way. I want to give out flowers. Look, our kicker, He screwed up. And he's a young kid. Was he 23, 24? Number 25 is his number. I know because I was trying for about 40 minutes to get Grok to give me uh, an image, and it failed. I wasted a half hour trying to make that happen. Oh, let's see if Justin has a thought on the game. Redemption arc. That kick, 55-yarder. That I saw on X. Let me go to X real quick. Let me switch to the Unhappy Hour Sports Show and let's just buzz through some stuff. I can't show video. But let's go to the profile because there's some statistics. Yeah, Travion Henderson, by the way, on the Patriots, sitting behind Ramondre Stevenson, who has 2 more fumbles, and they still won't let him play. You got to give the ball to Travion Henderson. He's an absolute home run hitter. Why draft him if you're going to just sit him on the bench? Get him in the game. But my understanding, and I'm going to get to it, I'm going to scroll to it. The longest walk-off field goal in Cleveland Browns history was yesterday, the 55-yarder that Andre Schmidt hit. It's a Schmidt hit. That's pretty awesome. So here's a question of the day, a QOTD. Did the Browns win the game yesterday, or did the Packers lose the game yesterday? Vote on it in our poll. We're on X at @theunhappyhour_. Also a question here in the poll. Who would you start against the Lions next week? Would you start Joe Flacco or Dylan Gabriel? I mean, on some level, something's got to give. On some level, something has to give. All of your teams suck. Schmidt happens. Question of the day. No idea. Question of the day. Still no idea. All right, Justin, let's go Brownies. Absolutely. So the 55-yarder, I don't know. I don't know what to do at quarterback. Do you go with Flacco? Do you go with Gabriel? I think either one could be a fair decision at this point. The people that say, "Oh, if you go to Gabriel, you can't go back. It's just you don't want to." I don't know. I don't know. He's a 5th-year player. He's played at big programs. He knows how to play. And with our line being banged up the way it is, you almost want someone like a Baker Mayfield that can run out of those situations and keep the linebackers honest. Stretch the field a little bit. Flacco's he doesn't have great vision this year. Not really connecting with Judy. But then again, would Gabriel have been able to pull off and execute that clocking that we needed after that completion from Flacco to Njoku to get us the game winner? So I don't know, but look, game ball to Andre Schmidt, the longest walk-off in our history, in Cleveland Browns history. That is my understanding. Let me buzz through a couple of these. Yeah, Grant Delpit's first interception. His interception today, they say it's the team's first since week 13 of last season. DeJuan Jones is hurt. Jack Conklin has been paid over $80 million from Cleveland to always be hurt. Wyatt Teller's a free agent next year. Ethan Posich, a free agent next year. Batonio, a free agent next year, probably retiring. Jason Lloyd says, this is a season of beginnings and endings in Cleveland. You have veterans trying to hold on for a few more weeks and rookies trying to emerge as the future. And on Sunday, one kick brought them all together. Aaron Goldhammer with a strong thought here. By my count, the Browns had at least 6 rookies at least contribute significantly to this win. Mason Graham was incredible. Carson Schweisinger is awesome. Quinshawn Judkins, best game by a running back since Chubb went down. Harold Fannin, the yards after catch play was so huge. He got hit by 2 people, and he somehow got through both of them and took on 2 more. Harold Fannin is legit. Aiden Huntington, I think he's the one that blocked the kick, technically. And Andre Schmidt. So look, let me give kudos also to Andrew Barry. I'm no Andrew Barry fan. He totally screwed up the Baker situation, made it worse with the Deshaun Watson situation. And you look through his drafts and you go, how many of these players are making any impact for this team? Well, guess what? They are this year. And you got to give credit where credit's due. When I brought up hating on people like Baker Mayfield, haters are going to hate. I get it. Fine. Whatever. But when you continue hating despite new evidence, it's a mental illness. In the world of politics, you hear the term Trump derangement syndrome coming out a lot. You're a strictly football show. Why would you bring up Trump? Well, he's colored orange, just like the name, well, the color, primary color of our team. Although yesterday it was brown. Okay, I'm making no sense here. But there's a derangement syndrome. When you get locked into a mindset, Baker bad, Baker bad, Baker bad, Baker bad, you go, all right, you need to be deprogrammed. You're on a destructive infinity loop of nonsense because you're not considering any new information. And it's a mental illness. I don't know what in our psyche of humanity has caused this to happen. But I'm going to say the same thing about Andrew Barry. For those of you who are suffering from Barry derangement syndrome, stop. Just stop. Give the guy his flowers today. He earned them today. Look at these rookies. Mason Graham, Carson Schlesinger, Quinshawn Judkins, Harold Fannin, Aiden Huntington, Andre Schmidt, and let's not forget, we have Jacksonville's first-round pick next year to get a high-ranking offensive lineman, perhaps. Maybe another 1 or 2 in free agency. You damn well better. I can't believe I'm saying it, give Andrew Barry his flowers. Look at the impact of these rookies. By the way, look at our defensive coordinator. Look at the defense. Mason Graham next to Myles Garrett. Are you kidding me? How many times did you see Schlesinger? Really, it was everybody. It wasn't like Myles went off and had 6 sacks yesterday. There was a lot of pressure, a lot of great stunts where they'll switch positions and cross behind each other. I mean, so quick we are getting to that quarterback. All 3 games this year. Kudos. Really seeing signs of improvement, and I'm here for it.
Come through and help.
No. So, by the way, let's look at
against Dallas.
No, I'm trying to pause that. This is tricky because I can't be showing NFL footage because it'll get banned on YouTube because it's so bad. You have random piano music behind some lecture speech and you're listening for the words and they'll flag you for, it's like, I didn't even notice there was music in there. Was that music? The copyright laws are out of control. Anybody can share anything directly on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram. But if you try to broadcast through YouTube, it's like, oh, big X. We got to demonetize. We got to shadow ban this content. By the way, we are monetized. If anybody wants to throw anything, no, I wanted the other screen. Why would it do it that way? Okay, so no matter what I do, it won't let me full screen me. This is dumb. Here, got to try it this way. Welcome to my bar. There we go. Here's the image. This is my sports bar. We're talking about all the things up there. But I do have a tip jar if anyone's interested. Let me put it on the screen. It's not on here. I do many shows, so I do have a lot of juggling to do. Oh, speaking of which, I didn't do the show intro.
Hi, this is Eric Metcalf, and you're watching Unhappy Hour.
Well, that's a version of one. I will go into this folder, and I will put this on the screen because we have our tip jar. We're on the New American Media Patreon. Please consider subscribing. 14 and a half years of content. Not stopping anytime soon, but donations like yours really matter. We're also on Venmo and Cash App at my name, Brian Engelman, and then PayPal, fuzzinstallment@yahoo.com. if you're interested. We'll keep that scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Let me pull up this. Go side by side again. There we go. So, yeah, by the way, Quinshawn wasn't able to practice this whole offseason. He was wrapped up in something, and he was accused of things, and nothing was charged. He was not found guilty of anything. I was a little concerned with Quinshawn being as aggressive as he was. He was barking a lot in the first quarter yesterday. And I said out loud, I'm like, I don't like this at all. Like, keep your head about you. Keep your wits. Now, just because he wasn't charged with something doesn't mean something didn't occur. I wasn't there. I don't know, but we're all innocent unless we're proven otherwise. Okay? And we have to keep that energy. We have to keep that energy. Once again, judge not lest ye be judged. I mean, what if you were on the receiving end of a Trevor Bauer or a Bubba Wallace or a Juicy Smollier? Like, just an accusation doesn't mean much. But what it meant to the Browns was we didn't sign him until the very last second. It meant that he wasn't practicing with the team. I don't know if that was league mandated or if that was personal choice or if it was bad negotiations from the agent to keep him out of practice. But Quinshawn Judkins was not available to us as we needed him. But look at what's happening. He is the rookie running back yardage leader across the NFL. We're talking about names like Bashal Tutin. Am I pronouncing that right? Travion Henderson. Henderson's the low rung on the totem pole here, on the Tutin pole. RJ Harvey, 80 yards. Cam Skataboo, 102. Bill Krosky Merritt, 125. O'Marion Hampton, 142. Ashton Gianti, 144. And Quinshawn Judkins is the rookie rushing yardage leader, and he didn't even play in game one. We hit on this pick. Now, we hope he's not hitting his girlfriend, and we hope that he's not going to get hit with a penalty flag for taunting or jarring or unsportsmanlike conduct. He's very fired up. But Quinshawn Judkins is legit, a real bell cow back. When he was taken, I was upset. Sort of, because I thought Travion Henderson was the better pick there. Now, time will tell, who knows, and situation matters. Patriots forever, even post Belichick, they keep doing this running back by committee thing instead of just picking your best guy and giving him 80% of the touches. Why are they splitting it? I don't fully understand it. A lot of running backs say like they don't even get warmed up until they're hit a bunch of times, and you get a feel for the flow of the game, and just you keep going, pop. And that's sort of what Quinshawn Judkins has done. There's been a lot of plays for no yards, couple of yards, not a lot, and then pop, 15, pop, 20-something. And you go, all right, I see it. The kid's got it. But I did a live draft show during this off-season's NFL draft. And I simply said, look, they took Dylan Gabriel. I don't know if he's the answer. I don't know why they waited so long to take a quarterback. I don't know why they traded down Mason Graham. Do you really need a defensive tackle? Well, guess what? He is a disruptor. His win rate is 43%. Don't quote me on the stats. I'm going to scroll to it in a second. I think the league average win rate is 7%, and he's at 43. Let me pull up the stat, but he's through the roof. So if the guy that we got is going to be a long-term disruptor, that is a win. But I said on draft day, you know what? I don't even care. Let's go. We're making moves. This will either get us closer to determining if Stefanski-Barry, and I think Stefanski-Barry need to be tied together. I don't know that you can keep the GM and lose the coach. I don't know that you can keep the coach and lose the GM. You guys both fumbled Baker Mayfield so bad. You had a very talented player that you couldn't find a way to make it work. Oh, it was all Baker. I have Baker derangement syndrome. Oh, he was a team cancer. Why? Why is that? Because Odell Beckham's dad put a little clip show together showing how his son wasn't running the right routes, meaning his quarterback didn't know where to throw it to him, so he wasn't throwing it because he didn't know where to expect him. And when you learn a playbook, 3-step drop, 5-step drop, 7-step drop, 1,000. It's all timing. And Beckham didn't do it right. So, yeah, Stefanski, he's the smartest guy in the room. He wasn't smart enough to bench Baker for his own good and say, kid, you're injured, get your surgery, and let's get you back for next season. Had that happened, maybe he would have been back next season. Baker was hard-headed. So what? Oh, no, I'm going to fault a player for wanting to fight through an injury. Okay, cool. Be the adult and sit him down for his own good and move on. Stefanski didn't do that, and it led to a mess with his Deshaun Watson contract and other stuff. So I don't know that you can ever unscramble the eggs of what Barry Stefanski have done to remove our ability to compete for a championship. And don't forget, in that COVID season, we were a helmet-to-helmet hit on Dirty Dan Sorensen to Hollywood Higgins away from winning that game. We lost by less than 7. That was a touchdown that was taken away. That ball would pop through the end zone. It should have been unsportsmanlike conduct, targeting. Dirty Dan Sorensen ejected from the game. Browns first and goal. You give it to Nick Chubb and you win that game. And you're playing the Bills. I think it was the Bills, right? In an AFC championship game to go to the Super Bowl and maybe win a Super Bowl. That was prime Nick Chubb, pre-prime Baker, but like sort of Baker in his prime. Because after Odell went down in that season, I mean, he was on fire, turning Hollywood Higgins into a superstar because he knew where to be on the routes. Myles Garrett, prime Myles Garrett. But let's be honest. Myles Garrett might be in his prime right now, playing the best he's ever played. Maybe that's a function of playing alongside the rest of the line, including Mason Graham. But we had a window right there, and we fumbled the bag. Chubb got injured. Baker moved on. Myles even wanted out in this offseason. I'm glad he didn't, because he's an absolute beast on the field. Darren is here. Darren. Oh, I don't see you watching. How are you watching, Darren? Are you watching? Let me pull up the comments. Darren's on YouTube. Okay, see, I would love to bring you in to the program. Which channel you watch? Let me try something. Not that Darren will, or that he can, or that this will allow you to, but there's the link. Can you click on that link? Can you copy and paste it if you wanted to join the show? Anybody that wants to, you can click the link, and I would love to get like your hot take, your quick take. Darren is saying, fire Stefanski. I am not in the Kevin Stefanski fan club. I'm just not. Gotcha. You're at work right now. Yeah, no worries. Darren says Mason Graham is a stud, but he's definitely being elevated due to Garrett. Okay, well, and Garrett's being elevated due to Graham. That's Forrest Gump and Bubba leaning up against each other. Hey, Forrest, you lean up against me, I'll lean up against you. That way we'll keep our heads out of the mud. You know, it's the same thing. What do they say about the Buckeyes? Well, Will Howard, he's no good. He's only good because they have good receivers. Baker Mayfield, he's only doing okay because they have all these great receivers. By the way, Chris Godwin injured. By the way, Mike Evans injured. 3 of his 5 offensive linemen are injured. He's got Emeka Egbuka and Cade Otton. I mean, so it's easy to diminish Will Howard, the Buckeyes quarterback, because, oh, well, he's only good because he chucks it up to Jeremiah Smith. Oh, okay, what? He's going to throw it to himself. He's going to do like the Looney Tunes thing or something where he'll throw the ball and then he'll run and he'll catch the ball for his touchdown. Being penalized for succeeding because you have success. I get the point, but also, come on, how can you judge that? It's not like Myles hasn't led the league in sacks and been defensive MVP twice now without, he did that without Mason Graham. So the point's taken, but the point is also kind of moot and it's kind of whatever. But yeah, of course they're elevating each other. Anybody on the Patriots elevated each other because they had a program of excellence. They had an atmosphere of excellence. You look at the teams that consistently win. They consistently have an excellence attitude. They don't accept bullshit. They have to elevate. But yeah, I mean, I take your point. Mason is a stud for sure. But look, I'm going to give some kudos to so many people. Joe Flacco, tough game. Missed open players, and he's not very mobile. It's not great. But that being said, I'm not going to be able to do the side-by-side with the comments up here. Okay, Darren can contribute on the show without having to talk. That's fine. Darren's been a guest on our program before on the Unhappy Hour. We've talked about your World Series of Poker stuff. You may have seen Darren on ESPN. Or is it ESPN2? I don't know. Darren says Miles is getting triple teamed, which makes it a lot easier for Graham to win his matchups. Yes. On some plays. He's not getting triple teamed on every play, but yes, of course, that's not going to hurt. Darren says, yeah, Flacco's done. Start the Rooks. Maybe the Rooks wouldn't have executed that catch to Njoku to clock it with 10 seconds left. I mean, usually that play takes a couple more seconds. In one little misstep could have just derailed it all. And it's another Browns way to lose. They lose in the Brownsiest way. All you had to do, but you had a rookie in there. He didn't have enough repetitions with the coaching staff and that offensive line to get him up and to clock it. There was a little bit of confusion, and that 1 second made the difference. Browns couldn't even get the kickoff. I blame Stefanski for playing the rookie. When you have a Super Bowl winner there that coulda, woulda, shoulda. I mean, I know that's what sports media is. We're constantly playing the game, constantly trying to figure out who's to blame and who made the right decision. And it's fun. They call it Monday morning quarterbacking for a reason. But I just got to give them some credit today. I got to give some credit to where credit is due. And look, they evaluated maybe the best running back out of this class way too early to know. But if you got Ashton Gianti at where was he picked? Number 7 or 8 or 9 or 6? He was picked very high, top 10. I mean, if you get Mason Graham and next year's first round pick, and you're able to get the second rounder that you use on Quinshawn, like I'll take Quinshawn and 2 first rounders to swap for Gianti, and Quinshawn's out working him. Okay. So
through next week.
Yeah, Harold Fannin Jr. breaking 4 tackles to get the first down. That's enormous. Nick Paulus here says it's very early, but let's take a look at the trade. Jacksonville got Travis Hunter in number 104 overall, which was Bashal Tutton. The Browns got Mason Graham at 5, got Quinshawn Judkins at 36, got Dylan Sampson at 126, and next year's 2026 first rounder. It looks like a huge win for the Browns and Andrew Berry. So let's give Andrew Berry some credit today. Rookie Watch says, yeah, starting to look like the best RB from the 2025 class. Judkins had the Packers defense struggling. He had 18 carries leading the team, 94 rushing yards leading the team, 1 rushing touchdown leading the team. He's played 1 last game and missed all the training camp. So yeah. No, I can't play clips. That's Mason Graham being good at sports. There you go. Mason Graham recorded a 43% pass rush win rate against the Packers today. Average for a defensive tackle is 9%. Okay, I said 7. I was very close. So it's 4x. Darren's a mathematics guy. That's why he's good at poker. Not the only reason. By the way, I can't play you these plays, but if you look at Carson Schlesinger on this play, he rolls out, and when he gets a head of steam going, by the way, don't forget, JOK made a cryptic post, and he might be trying to come back and play. Could you imagine Carson Schlesinger and JOK, a healthy JOK playing? Woo! These guys are both heat-seeking missiles. They find a proper angle, and they accelerate into the play. They don't wait for contact. They make contact. That's what you want out of your linebacker. Oh, yeah, this is the same play. This is where Harold Fannin was bottled up, and then boom, he burst through both of those. Yes, it was Andrew Siciliano who reported Andre Schmidt's 55-yard game winner, the longest walk-off field goal in Browns history, per NFL research. And, of course, if you look at this image here, that is Myles Garrett with 3. It's a conga line trying to stop Myles Garrett. So how could you not let these guys feast, let the other boys battle? Look what McNeil did here. Look what McNeil did. Let me go full screen. he grabbed other linemen to make it look like Myles was going up against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 offensive linemen. So there's some exaggeration as to how far the Packers went to contain. What just happened here? Why did the stream go off? Oh, I guess because I clicked? That was weird. Why would it do that? Get it again? Okay. That's hilarious. No, I can't play clips. But yeah, look, Joe Thomas said Stefanski had them ready for that moment to clock the ball, to get those yards and to clock it. So many games are won with these little things you practice for weeks and maybe years without it showing up. But when it does, it wins you a close game. And we said huge kudos to Coach Stefanski, who Darren wants to fire. That was growth. That was well-coached execution. You got to give credit where credit is due. You know, I might be able to watch this. I'm just going to have to scroll. This is kind of fun from a Packers perspective. Then I'll probably wrap up my roundup because I got to get ready for the TNAM Daily Show here in a second. But this dude is watching the Packers game.
3rd and 3.
Oh, no, there's volume. I can't play it. Anyway, I don't even know if I can share any of this stuff. I hate doing the sports shows for this reason exactly. Oh, you used a still image from the game. Like, it's newsworthy. We have oh geez, what's the phrase? I always use it on my other show for the New American Media. Not artistic license. It's fair use. We're talking about current events in the news. Like, we're allowed to discuss what's going on. We can use brief clips. We can't rebroadcast the game. Nobody's ever trying to do that. Anyway, I'm gonna have to get away from the X feed there. Darren says maybe the rookies score more so they don't have to execute that play. You can't score less than 0. Okay? You can't score less than 0. Now, look, Flacco was putting up offensive yardage. He was really putting up offensive yardage. I know the screen went dark. I did that intentionally. We scored that touchdown. That's something. And you'll say, well, that was off of that interception. It was a short field. Well, somebody had to get him to the 1 yard line for Judkins to punch it in. Flacco did eventually do that. But yes, I take your point. Maybe the rookies scored more. Or maybe the rest of the team's going to keep gelling. We got a lot of youth. And Harold Fannon's a problem. The more he gets involved, the more it's going to be open for Judy. Darren says, with an average offense, this team would be 3-0. The defense may be top 5. Hold on. Are you saying all time in the history of football? I mean, they're playing fantastic right now. I mean, with superstars. Miles being like the ultimate defensive superstar. Top 5 all-time in Browns history or top 5 all-time? You are the statistics guy, Darren. So I am curious, like, where do they rank after 3 games? I'm very curious. But we didn't have a takeaway until this game, right? That was the first takeaway of the season. So, I mean, defense can be judged on takeaways. Can be judged on points allowed, field position, time on the field. Like, there's different ways. There's different ways to evaluate it. Paramjot Sandhu, you've been here before. I remember you. What'd I call you? I called you Jot. Yes, you are Jot. I remember you being in the streams. Hello again, Jot. Jot says, I'm sorry, but Kevin still has to be fired. He stinks. His offense stinks. Always have. It didn't stink under Baker Mayfield in the playoff run where we should have been in the AFC Championship game with prime Nick Chubb. I mean, who was Baker even throwing to? Hollywood Higgins and Jarvis Landry and Njoku? We're giving up 67 rushing yards a game, which is nothing. 204 yards average per game. Although, I mean, we gave up 41 points to the Ravens. Now, well, I guess 7 of those were on a turnover, so maybe 34 points. Look, I'm here for it. I kudos across the board. Harold Fannin looks great. We're not perfect. Judge not lest ye be judged. So, I mean, Andre Schmidt got his act together. I'm not going to build a statue for him yet. We've done that with quarterbacks before. Remember that Baker game? The Baker came from behind and won the game, except that we kicked a 50-something yarder in Carolina to win that game. Then that kicker, who's that kicker? He's gone. I forget his name. It wasn't Dustin Hopkins. It was the other guy, wasn't it? They all blur together for me. Yeah, blocked punt and interception. Half the points came off of short fields. That's fair. We didn't let Derrick Henry do anything. And that is the truth of it all. But super excited. I refuse to believe that we're going to be the worst team in the league when people were saying that. I refuse to believe we're going to only win 3 games. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Oh, we got a tough schedule. Every schedule's tough. They're all NFL teams. Some teams that you project are going to be good fall to crap. Teams that were crap end up being good. You never know who you're really playing until you play them. Who thought the Falcons were going to get steamrolled the way they did yesterday? Who thought the Vikings were going to get steamrolled like they did last week? The Cowboys would be 0-3. You just kind of never know. So we're competitive. We're competitive. That whole first half against the Ravens, we were there. We were right in it. Yeah, some defense, some special teams, some turnovers. We lost it, but there we find ourselves. And we got our first win of the season. So let's celebrate. Let's have a good time with this. I'll unpack a little bit more of this tomorrow on Strictly Football. That'll be on at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Please make sure that you join us. That's an old image from Season 2, Episode 1. We're on Season 2, Episode 5 now. That makes about 30 episodes of the show. Strictly Football here on the Unhappy Hour. So thank you all for jumping in with your comments. Definitely appreciate it. Join us tomorrow at 6 o'clock Eastern, and we'll talk some more about this. Super happy. I'm going to see Trash Panda in a couple minutes. I got to reset this feed, and we're going to get to the TNAM Daily Show. So we'll close this show, and we'll get back. We're going to cover the news, of course, the Charlie Kirk Memorial. Whew, wow, that one. And the other news from over the weekend. We will unpack. Like I say, we're the TNAM Trash Pandas. We dump the news out on the table. That's the trash. And we separate it. We separate fake news from fact. We just try to figure out what's going on in this crazy world. Darren saying that the 2000 Ravens only allowed 60 yards rushing a game, and we're allowing 57 yards rushing a game. Whew. Yeah. I saw Annie Agar, the Packers fan, and she was like, I can't believe the Browns. We've looked like trash. And it's like, no, everybody's going to look bad against the Browns defensive front. You have no idea how good this is. So continued prayers for health of all of our players and a focus, clarity, dedication, athletic achievement, prowess, strategy, execution. Let's get her done. Browns get the first win of the season. 1-2 on the year, playing the Lions next week. Go on X at @TheUnhappyHour_. At @TheUnhappyHour_ and vote. Who would you like to see a quarterback next week? Dylan Gabriel or Joe Flacco? Do the vote, and we will talk to you later. I appreciate you. I love you, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. I'll be back in, oh my gosh, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Okay. And away we go.